Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Arknights Enfield, specifically livestream reaction. Probably for the last time before the game launches, because I don't believe there's going to be another one. Decent amount of stuff to talk about before we get into the livestream reaction. First of all, let's talk about where I've been. So, there's this thing I heard that's called Minecraft phases. Now, I'm gonna be brutally honest, I don't really have that sort of thing, because, like, yeah, I did play Minecraft before in the past, but it hasn't been like a seasonal type of thing, like almost depression, that some people have, seasonal depression, but instead, seasonal Minecraft, the urge to play for like a couple weeks and then stop playing. Personally, I feel like that's more towards Terraria for me than Minecraft, if I had to say, if out of the two games. Now, the only reason why I've been playing almost non-stop is because I finally joined my friend's Discord server that has, like, several different plugins, so it's not just Minecraft, but like a added experience Minecraft with MMO type of levering system for different things to work on. On top of it, since it's more of a local private-esque server, it is technically open, but you'd be hard pressed to find it. Um, Pretty much, for how laid back it is, it's not a big server and being mostly with friends like that. It's just I've been enjoying it a lot. This is probably the most, or second to tied most of enjoying playing Minecraft in a long time. Like, I would say the last time I was enjoying Minecraft was like mid 2010s with Xbox 360 edition. Just to kind of give you today how long it's been. Not just that, but I mean, I did play a certain server that had Skyblock, and I enjoyed that a lot. But anyway, so that's kind of where I've been. When it comes to the game, it's a hobby project, so don't expect me to be instantaneously done. Even though I did set a goal of at least getting it done this year, I will probably end up working on it again when I get burnt out or just bored or maybe just done playing Minecraft for a bit. Heights are released. I tried that out. I played it for like about 3-ish hours. I'm fine with waiting for that game to work on. It's not a bad game. I did enjoy it. I mean, with Terraria, it's like a Terraria but 3D type of thing. A lot of people are gonna compare it. I mean, a lot of people do that. It's just a human thing. They're doing gacha games. I'm used to people comparing. It's its own thing, and I'm curious to see how things go. I did talk about my own opinions, and I did enforce some feedback of certain things I would like to see. I won't really talk about in this video, but I did try it out. At some point, I'll probably go back to it. Like many other games that I want to play and work on, like Dying Light the Beast, that I have yet to touch. So there's a lot. I've been playing Reverse 1999 recently. Failed to get Robuska, and I don't know what to do now. It's just one of those things that Robuska brought me back to the game. I did try it out when it launched, and I was just like, eh. I'm still kind of but I really like the character Robuska, so it's like, to me, I'm just like, bruh. Like, this game, I feel like people overhype it a little bit. There's a lot of things about the game that I feel like is untrue from the community. The community draws in a lot of left-leaning thought process due to the fact that you're you're a female main character. There's a lot of females that are playable characters, and a lot of people try to infer things, but it's a Chinese company. Like, don't get me wrong, there can be some, like, gay-esque relationships. I mean, Arknights, the original Arknights, kinda alluded to that. but a lot of the time they don't really enforce it, or they don't really say, yeah, this is a thing. A lot of the time it's more so alluded, or what people think is alluded. So I tend to, for the most part, for most relationships, grain of salt if people think it's like a lesbian or a gay-esque relationship. It's just not the thing. I, especially for China, I think you're stretching a bit. It's Korea-esque games. That's kind of a different story. I feel like that's a different direction, especially from South Korea. Um, Another tire hellhole to bring up, but anyway, I know we kind of just randomly on here. So let's actually get into Arknights Enfield talk before we start the stream. So I've been mostly negative about this game. Yes, I am positive, and there is hope, but at the same time, I'm also really negative because there's a lot of things I did not like. I have been completely blind because if I don't get into the beta or alpha or whatever the fuck it ends up being called, I'm mostly blind unless I randomly see something, um, or live streamed. Since the last live stream was the first live stream, and a lot of shit was thrown at me, there's a lot of things that was just face value. Okay, that is shit. Learned more. Still not great, but a lot better than most. That's kind of how things went. Um, Even though I have a lot to say to other people's thought process on Enfield. There's certain things I'm gonna make a lot of people angry about. That if I remember to, I'll bring up that I think it's worth mentioning. I do think it is a lot of copium of trying to be really positive about this game because of Arknight's relationship, but this is a company at the end of the day. The company has done some shit that the CN player base was mad about that they were pretty much gun pointed to change. So don't be surprised if this game is worse than normal Arknights, and I don't think it necessarily should be. Of course, at the end of the day, it's the developer's choice, but the developers will realize that their actions do have consequences. So take that as you will. Now, when it comes to being blind, I don't know shit of the experience from the latest beta, alpha, whatever the fuck you want to go about test. So I'm mostly blind for a lot of stuff, especially from the story aspect. I did know about certain things a long time ago with the whole clone situation and all that stuff, and people were talking about it from here and there. Then actually I stopped caring a lot about what's going on. A lot has changed since then, but I don't know what it is like now. Don't know how people feel about the combat now. The gacha currency, the gacha currency talking point. While it feels like it's kind of a newer talking point that everyone's talking about, I've been talking about that shit like 2020 because I've been playing gacha games since like 2017. And trust me, when you play a game from Bandai Namco's got like Sword Art Online Meme Defrag, you learn a lot about gachas and very specific important points. And the most important one is, regardless of how shitty a gacha is, if you don't make the gameplay interesting or fun, your game will die. That is one rule of many important rules. Okay, roasting Bandai Namco there. From my own experiences. And of course, that's one of the few games that YouTubers talk about how Persona 5 killed. Like a Grim Reaper, which I think is just kind of funny. Kind of disproven, but it is kind of funny that there's so many times that it's happened. It's almost like a curse. Anyway, I think I got everything off the back of what I really wanted to mention from what I've really been doing. There's certain things I'll probably be doing a lot more in the future. Right now I'm in a Minecraft phase, if you really want to talk about it like that. I don't really have those, so take that as you will. And talking about Enfield, my optimism, but I'm generally mostly negative. My hopes is that they do improve on certain things. From what I've briefly seen, heard, quote unquote. Again, I really haven't looked into even these things. Just like YouTube thumbnails and titles, I briefly see and I just scroll by because I don't really care too much. Some people are still mixed on the blueprint system. Most people are taking the time into it, realize it's not that great. So, I don't know. I can't really say because I haven't had the chance to play it because I did not get in any of the attempts. So, yeah. Now we'll see. I've been trying. There was one video that was talking about the live stream, which I completely destroyed because I didn't want to spoil anything for anyone else that I'm already getting spoiled by because people can't shut the fuck up. Anyway, we're just gonna skip all the way to the actual stream. There probably will be copyright stuff. I would not be surprised if it's from Starset or like the really flashy shit music video PV. I probably will mute it. That's just like it's a guarantee it's copyrighted. It's just how it is. I went on a spiel with the last Arknights CN stream, not CN stream, EN stream. Yeah. About that, so I'm not really gonna go about that here. Okay, let's get into it. There's a bit of hope, but I am not betting on great changes. And I'll get my very, very, very brutal thoughts. Okay, and I'm gonna make people angry. So take that as you will as we can get started. I think this is probably gonna be. This may or may not. This may or may not be copyrighted music. Probably not. I think this is more like kind of similar to like when they released an event PV in Normal Arknights. I think it's gonna be like that kind of like idea. Oh, I say that. It probably is. It probably is. Just given so far, I would not be surprised if this is copyrighted. For me, I would rather have a non-copyrighted version, personally. Even if I don't make money, I don't want to see a copyright. You're fucked, lol. So, that's just how I am. I have a lot to say about them choosing to do clones of characters. For those blah, 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 history lesson, there we go, of me with Bandai Namco, I have a lot of feelings when it comes to clones of operators. To me, clones of operators is boring because it means that you're not taking the time to create some new character, but instead just do continuous alters. I lived in the era where there were 50 plus characters of the same character, and that was in a year. Okay? So there's a reason why I'm not a big fan of clone characters. Because when a game company is so banking on waifu selling, it gets so boring that there's like they don't bother with new characters at all. And that is why I really get, I guess, annoyed when game companies force on pretty much the same character. Now, is that the same case for Arknights? Yes and no. Enfield. Arknights Enfield. Not Arknights, but Arknights Enfield. Because to me, some of these characters, what is the point of them looking similar to other characters than originally being clones? That they changed, So, to me, it's like, is there an actual reason? I think the only character that has realistically made the most sense was Chen, because they actually tried to make it work and actually have similarities, but also differences. So Chen is by far the only character in this game that makes sense, being very similar enough, but also different. And the fact that I think they needed to do better with all the alter characters, but they didn't. To me, I think they could have worked a lot more on the quote-unquote same characters, unless it makes sense. I think surtr is like the only one that's like, okay, out of all of the technically the same characters, hard to really say if that's actually the case or not. It's very much high in debate still. surtr is the only one, and Chen's the only other one that I feel like actually makes sense and works. While, yeah, it was Starset. Fucking knew it. Anyway, yeah, that's why this is gonna be muted. I am sorry, but that's just how it is. But with the other characters, I desperately think they could have worked more on actually making them, an actual person than just a carbon copy. Unless there's some new crazy lore they decide to do. I'm looking at Efiala, child, possibly, but probably not, because why the fuck not? Anyway, to me, it gets to a point where, yeah, I gotta stop the presses, because I've lived in an era, too many clones is bad. And it gets boring quickly. Anyway, that's the whole story. Anyway.
嗨，大家晚上好。
Hello.
晚上好，欢迎各位来到明日方舟周末地的。
Unlike the CN streams, at least it's subtitled. I mean, it doesn't have to for the CN streams, by the way, for normal Arknights. But this time around, I could just watch it, and you guys will actually understand. Well, I tend to get a lot of things correct, not all the time, but a decent amount. So yeah, it's nice to, or at least for you guys, compared to me getting, at least it's subtitled. If this is completely Chinese, then I'll just have, later on, someone will translate the more important stuff. It's just how it is on the Discord server, so take that as you will.
公测前瞻特别节目，我是海猫肉和物，也非常感谢刚才由 Starset 带来的全新曲目，为今晚揭开序幕。那今天这个节目啊，对我们来说意义也非常特别。在正式公测到来之前，我们想借由这个机会和各位管理员一起看一看周末地究竟是一款怎样的游戏，你会在这里经历什么？那我们在全面测试之后呢，又做了哪些调整，以及之后还会走向哪里？希望各位管理员在踏上塔维尔之前，先对这场旅程有一个清晰的认识。那也正因为如此啊，今天的现场我们邀请到了 Ra， 还有我们的特别嘉宾 ZC， 来一起和大家聊一聊。那先请二位和大家打个招呼吧。
Hello， 各位晚上好，我是 Ra， 很高兴呢，又终于能在这个时间点上和各位管理员一起并肩前行。
大家好，我是 ZC， 非常感谢两位能够邀请我参加今天的节目啊，也很期待接下来能看到的分享。
欢迎二位，也欢迎屏幕前的各位管理员，欢迎来到塔维尔这个美丽、辽阔却始终与危机并存的世界。
What the fuck are you? What the fuck, YouTube? I decided to just go to a different translation. Like, what the fuck are you going to Chinese?
文明环带重新建立起了秩序。
My brain's being stupid because I'm like Chinese, Japanese. They're like, no, it's going to Spanish for some reason. Anyway, I'm not even Spanish. I don't really speak much Spanish. I know Spanish, some of it, but anyway.
但只要把视线移出高墙，你就会发现更多的土地依然是荒野和未知。
塔维尔被灾难一次次改写，但人类从来没有把命运交出去。他们在危机里继续前行，用战斗守住当下，用建设和生产把文明一点点往前推。
I want to stop here. There was this main point in normal Arknights that Kelsey was trying to get at, was this disaster. Well, we kinda have some idea that it's tied to Priestess, Of course, episode 16 is not out yet, and some time ago, like about 1 to 2 months ago, I finally read through episode 15. I got around to doing it. I'd say we still don't know the full extent of this disaster. So, take that as you will. I mean, there's other disasters that we could actually see in Enfield here. Like, I don't doubt we will see, we will definitely see, my brain's being stupid right now with, monsters here. My brain's being really, really stupid. I had it and I'm just forgetting it. Seaborn. There we go. I think we will see Seaborn.
这个故事就发生在这样的
It's
世
a
界里。
good possibility. Like, I know I'm stopping here, but it's gonna be. I think I could see like the Halo Flood moment of like Halo 3, where the ship that's being controlled by the Flood comes in and destroys onto the planet. That is something I could see with the Seaborn doing. Try hijack, flying, kill everyone on the ship, and then crash down onto Talos 2. That would be really insane to see, and that could just be like a major bitch slap of a moment at some point in the story if that happens. That would generally actually be really cool to see. That's like way too good of an idea to see. Okay, I'm gonna stop and continue.
当故事真正开始时，你会在一个完全陌生的地方醒来，记忆几乎一片空白。
我记得是和中末地工业的监督佩里卡的对话中啊，才得知这里是帝江号，是中末地工业的基地啊，也是管理员之后的指挥中枢。
对的，但帝江号呢，也不只是基地，对于很多干员来说，这里也是他们生活、工作的地方，是你和他们共同的家。而中末地工业本身呢，它也是一个长期站在开拓最前沿的组织。协议原石传送技术、集成工业系统、原石的可控分布技术，以及这个塔维2唯一的轨道飞行器帝江号，这些源自中末地的技术成果，已经成为了塔维2未来的一部分。
现在呢，随着新威胁的再次逼近啊，中末地工业也将再次踏上开拓之旅。
而你就是中末地工业的管理员。在长达10年的沉睡之后，你再次苏醒。你会从佩里卡那里一点点重新了解到。
Also, I want to talk about that one character that they kind of like show on the side that I think is Kelsey reincarnated. Given certain episode stuff where it's back and forth, we don't know of certain aspects that may or may not be, depending upon how the story continues on, which it seems like they will be going in that direction. So I'm going to say that's possibly right now Kelsey reincarnation, possibly, because we haven't really seen much of her. They've been showing off that character, but they have not really, I don't know anything about the story. If they showed her off on the side, they probably haven't. So I bet you when we start the game, people are going to be bitch slapped. Like, oh, is this Kelsey? Yeah, I mean, I've kind of predicted that since like the first couple of trailers back in 2022. So we'll see if that ends up being the case, or if it's just some random ass cat girl that is not really Kelsey.
你的身份和职责，你掌握着原始的权限，也承受着他留下的。
Okay, makes sense.
原来正因为管理员曾一次次把文明从边缘拉回来，也因此一次次付出代价，所以才会沉睡修复自己，等待下一个必须醒来的时刻。
是的。而这一次醒来，你听到的是一个被明确说出口的计划：制造协议核心，把它部署到文明环带的关键区域，去对抗侵蚀，重启系统，让那些被切断的未来重新连上。
更关键的是，包括将你唤醒在内，整套计划都来自一份名为0号委托的方案，而这份委托的委托人正是你自己。至于协议核心具体意味着什么，它也会和后面要讲的集成工业系统紧密关联。我们会之后去专门展开介绍。
计划刚刚启动啊，第一站4号谷地就出了一个问题，不仅通信故障正在扩散，枢纽区基地也迟迟没有回应，同时呢还检测到了极强的天使能量信号。
看来是没有时间留给管理员好好准备了，必须立刻去现场稳住局面才行。
而当你们抵达4号谷地时，最先正面遭遇的是一种看起来不像生命的敌对存在，它们是由不明装置锚点催化形成的天使。
虽然说天使是被制造出来的无机物，但他们的行动似乎方式明确、目标清晰，而且极具威胁性。
是的，是的。但很快你就会发现，4号谷地的麻烦远不止天使，在基地的边缘还有另外一股势力正在游走试探，正在蠢蠢欲动。
他们就是猎地者。猎地者并不是一个统一阵营，他们是由年谷、狼群、沙盗3个氏族组成的武装团体。猎地者中有人把掠夺当成活下去的方式，也有人把混乱当作重塑秩序的机会。
而在4号谷地，你会很早记住一个名字——涅菲斯。他并不是那种单靠蛮力的对手，更像是把暴力组织起来的人。他让原本混乱的年谷氏族像一支军队一样行动，在失序中制造方向。随着事态推进，你会意识到，猎地者的这次行动并不是偶然。
也就是说，在4号谷地已经不是新的怪、旧的源这么简单了，是有人在借着这个混乱来下一步更大的棋。
对的，对的，没错。所以在4号谷地，你要做的事其实非常清楚：一边战斗，一边把基地重新运转起来，清理侵蚀，恢复供电，建立据点。而集成工业系统也会在这里真正的进入实战，让4号谷地重新的活过来。
但几乎同一时间，文明环带的多处地区也开始出现了异常反应。
看来4号谷地发生的一切并不是孤立事件。
最先捕捉到这些变化的是红山科学院。随着你的深入调查，你将继续踏上前往红山的旅程，进入武林地区。在那里，你会第一次近距离接触到红山的科技、文化，以及他们应对侵蚀与灾害的独特方式。
公测版本里，大家能够体验到红山的前2个地图，先对这片区域有个直观了解。但是这只是旅程的前几站，而深层的冲突、更远的选择以及更广阔的塔维尔在前方等待着你，管理员。
Taking out the blackout, figuring out that out, and then dealing with first set of China.
Haven't we met already? Doesn't matter. You'll remember me by this sword and flame.
So I'm curious to see how his memory returns. Because I don't know if unless he loses his memory again from like Mafia for some reason. I think we will remember. At least remember certain aspects soon.
Hi, Endman. We meet again. Just call me Yvonne. It's been a very long time since I last went out. Pleasure doing business together. Feel the chill. Let us dance. Hi.
And I'm not gonna repeat it over and over, but I think animations so far are pretty good.
Beautiful memories, like an
Quality is
letter
there.
destined for a special place. I wonder where that might be. Surprise! Hey, cozy up with gravity.
So I'm guessing these are the 3 set of characters that we still have.
It's just a letter.
And then next probably FEL.
看到这里，我在想啊，那他塔维尔想继续往前走，好像确实不太可能只靠管理员一个人啊。那接下来是不是也请2位老师给大家聊一聊我们一起作战的这些干员呢？
是的，无论是正面迎敌，还是推进无人区的建设，这趟旅程呢都需要可靠的同伴。
而中末地工业最宝贵的，也正是这些一直与你同行、一起作战的干员，比如刚才画面里出现的莱万汀、吉尔佩塔，还有伊冯。
那接下来我们就配合一些实战画面，带管理员认识一下这几位得力干员。
Okay, so they're gonna go more in depth, or Gacha system. Kind of showing the Gacha system a little bit, but.
首先
First up is laevatain. She prefers doing things her way, makes decisive calls, and strikes without mercy. Despite her fragmented memories, laevatain joined Enfield Industries as an operator directly led by the Endmen and fights at the very front. She's a striker that focuses on dealing group damage. Her combat tempo is very straightforward. Keep attacking, creating heat inflictions, and igniting the battlefield. Laevatain's basic attack has up to 5 sequences. Each hit deals heat damage.
Interesting.
Successful finisher on an enemy deals massive heat damage and recovers skill points for faster skill casting.
So I could definitely see...
Her battle skill, Smoldering Fire, summons a magma fragment to attack the enemy. At maximum stacks of Melting Flame, Laevatain's battle skill deals a huge slash and applies combustion on enemies, further spiking the damage output. Making an enemy combusted or corroded triggers her combo skill, Seethe. This skill causes fire to erupt from the feet of all applicable enemies, dealing tons of AoE damage to enemies. It's great for clearing up groups of enemies.
Are you
Casting the ultimate Twilight lets Laevatain summon the Sviga Livy, making her attacks much stronger. While the ultimate is active, Laevatain can keep performing basic attacks to dominate the enemy. Once combat begins, cast Anto on Akakuri's battle skills to apply heat infliction on this large group of enemies. Right after that, let's control Laevatain to attack the enemy and absorb their heat inflictions to build up her melting flame stacks. We then cast Wolfguard's ultimate to apply combustion, then trigger Laevatain's combo skill to deal plenty of damage. Next, quickly reposition Laevatain and cast her battle skill at max melting flame stacks to deal tons of damage. Finally, cast her ultimate to greatly strengthen her basic attacks, clear out the enemies, then follow up with an enhanced battle skill for a perfect victory.
Stand down, fully and hasted victory.
Be consumed! Shot!
And then I think she's more of an AoE type character than a single target. So, just from that alone.
Next up is Gilberta. As a messenger, Gilberta delivers mail and intel across various bases and outposts. She often travels along the fringes of the civilization band in the frontier. To Gilberta, delivery is more than a mission. It's a way to rebuild connections, and she's proud of her duties. In combat, Gilberta is a supporter with both arts and physical abilities. Enemies affected by arts reactions can be easily crowd controlled by Gilberta. Her skills also apply crowd control effects to enemies in a large area. Gilberta performs ranged attacks that deal nature damage to enemies. Performing a finisher on the enemy recovers Gilberta's skill points to ready her skill casting. After casting her battle skill, Arcane Staff, Gravity Mode, Gilberta enters a channeling state. The skill will keep pulling in enemies and deal damage to them. The end of channeling also sets off an explosion that applies nature infliction and can be used to synergize with other skills. Applying any arts reaction on the enemy triggers Gilberta's combo skill, Arcane Staff Matrix Displacement. With a quick casting move, Gilberta generates a gravity pull that traps enemies and lifts them. This can disrupt a group of enemies. Her ultimate, Arcane Staff Gravity Field, creates an anomalous gravity field at the targeted area. Enemies in the area become slowed and take more arts damage. This is an area skill with crowd control and damage buffs. When battle begins, have Gilberta perform basic attacks. Just before her final strike, cast Perlica's battle skill to apply electric infliction. Then cast Gilberta's battle skill to pull in nearby enemies. The enemies are now corroded. Cast her combo skill immediately to lift all enemies within the area of effect. Finally, cast her ultimate to create the anomalous gravity field. Affected enemies will move much slower and take a lot more arts damage. Finally, unleash more attacks on them to achieve an easy win. The last operator is Yvonne. This engineer is a bag of surprises and wild theories. She is currently in charge of researching the ether and blight-related machines. People are often astonished at her quirky and outright fantastic ideas. Yvonne looks like a laid-back rebel, but nobody would ever doubt her decisions and creativity in her fields of expertise. Yvonne's combat style is straightforward too. She is a striker skilled at solidifying enemies.
So
Her
is she
battle
like
and
the
combo
equivalent
skills can
to
quickly apply solidification and give her ultimate energy. Once she casts her ultimate, she becomes the ultimate single-target damage dealer. Yvonne's basic attacks deal cryo damage to enemies. Her finisher attacks also restore skill points. Her battle skill, Berber Bomb Beta, throws a freezing bomb. When hitting the enemy, the bomb consumes cryo and nature inflictions from the enemy, forcibly applies solidification, dealing extra damage based on the number of stacks consumed. Having the controlled operator performing a final strike on a solidified enemy triggers Yvonne's combo skill, Flash Freezer Epsilon 37. The bot Frosty Bitey will deal continuous cryo damage next to enemies while pulling them in. When its time is up, the bot self-detonates and applies solidification. Yvonne's ultimate cryoblasting pistolier deploys the support bot Tinkerbella. She also becomes the controlled operator. During the ultimate, Yvonne's basic attack will keep getting stronger. At max stacks, her attacks will deal way more damage. The final attack of the ultimate also consumes the enemy's solidification to deal massive damage.
And that's a test showcase, but probably should have it like lots of tests.
Let's start by attacking the enemy with Yvonne and wait for an opening. This is it. Once the enemy starts using the flamethrower, have Snowshine retaliate and apply cryo infliction. Then have Yvonne solidify the enemy and perform a final strike to trigger the combo skills of multiple operators. After casting powerful attacks and skills, cast Yvonne's ultimate and shred the enemy. The final attack of the ultimate will consume the enemy's solidification to deal massive damage. Attack again to secure the perfect win.
Honestly, that electric assassination combo was way better.
Let's take a break while he still can.
We referenced player feedback on various operators during beta test 2 and applied a round of improvements and adjustments to operators. As your journey continues, you'll meet companions with other styles and combat roles. But as you gain more operators and face more complex battles, team setup might become quite challenging. To cater to this issue, we have the Game Tools feature. Open the in-game protosync to use it. Game tools include team setups and combat theory crafting, shared by other admins to help you quickly build a combat team that suits your style. This is like a guide. We can use it, try things out, and gradually arrive at a combat style we like.
Because a lot
As you progress, enemies and combat mechanics.
A lot of these guides will have, after certain points, gacha characters, which means you have to have all the gacha characters. If you don't have all the gacha characters, you're screwed. So that's why I say, like, it's a nice idea in practice. It would work best for different levels of a guide of like, okay, here's like only the character with no gacha, here's the character with some gacha, and here's one with like the fourth layer is like with all gacha. That would make the most sense and I think would work best. I think it's a flawed system a lot of the time, and it can be a flawed system. So I don't know how it's implemented or it will be implemented. So it's a new thing, it seems like, so.
Will become more complex. Game tools will give you confidence in testing things out.
Will I use it? Probably not.
They
no guarantee.
are the sparks scattered upon Talos.
The thing is, like, I want to understand the game better than just knowing what works and what doesn't. So.
2. Beneath the endless sky.
Because I don't know what happens in Ursus, but I think it's going to be rather interesting to see. Ursus might actually have a bigger role to play in the story.
In the depths of night.
I don't know. This is probably another PV thing. So, realizing what I'm hearing in the background, I'm like, yeah, I'm just to be on the safe side. It's probably already copyrighted just from the fact that I've already been a couple of seconds, so. Anyway, so far, nothing too crazy. Like, the whole guide system is one thing. They're just talking about, like, the basic shit that I probably could learn from actually playing the game. So, nothing too crazy. It's just pretty much just creating hype for the game to eventually release. This is all this is pretty much is. So I don't have really much else to say. I could rant more about clone characters all I want, but I think all these characters are specifically the freebies. Like that will always be the like side banner to go for. I believe. I could be incorrect. Well, except not all of them. Like I think Last Fight will probably be a Gacha, but most of them here are from the side banner. Optimizations.
We went through beta test 2 admin feedback, as well as issues we encountered during internal testing. Up next is an introduction to key adjustments we've made.
Oh yeah, there was a soft lock in the test at some point that some people encountered in my Discord that I actually got access to it. So there was some issues that people encountered. Not just optimization, but yeah, as I mentioned, soft lock. So
Made for the official release.
from what I've seen,
The first part are visual effects and overall performance. We've optimized a number of story cutscenes, map exploration camera angles, and various visual effects. These include a few changes that look small, but affected immersion. For example, walking on snow during the prologue and environment wetness effects, puddles, and flowing water feedback will be more obvious. When you look outside Dijiang, the atmospheric clouds of the planet are also more layered and distinct. Quite a few special effects received their overhaul. Sound conveyance and audio effects have been adjusted. Ambient feedback is a lot clearer. The sounds of the footsteps can probably let you know who's next to you. Some narrative cutscenes got fixed as well. For example, dialogue segments and operator story will no longer be disrupted by memo beacons and other facilities. A few cutscenes in Valley 4 and Wu Ling have received improvements too.
oh god.
Another key optimization is camera angle. Now, a few environment objects that might block the camera have been made semi-transparent.
Makes sense.
When moving in these places, you'll no longer get frequent changes to camera zoom, making map exploration more comfortable. The fix will greatly reduce visual stress during exploring. You can now enjoy the world and read maps at your leisure. Next, let's talk about combat optimizations. This time, we have two key adjustments. Firstly, most basic skills and combo skills no longer reset the basic attack sequence. We think this is quite an important change. Secondly, we've enhanced on-screen visual feedback effects when the controlled operator gets hit, making them look more obvious. These adjustments will make combo skills a lot smoother.
Okay. Because at the
More
moment, it'd be
obvious
really
hit
hard
feedback
to know
also
because
helps
of all
admins
shit
react to situations. Battle will be more enjoyable overall. Now, let's talk about the early game progress. We've changed authority level requirements for some main missions and optimized a few early game experiences in Valley 4. We also enhanced guides for a number of interactables in the world. Gameplay related to storage crates will get more obvious tips. I've found that those long-eared bunnies that lead you to hidden stash are given special effects. They are a lot easier to spot now. Also, we've added the weekly routine activity for the official release. This activity refreshes every week. Rewards include progression materials and the headhunting currency Ouroboros.
Okay.
Weekly routine is a consistent source for obtaining arsenal tickets for free. This is an all-new source of rewards,
Okay.
especially
So,
for Ouroboros.
the fact that they didn't have in the beta, I feel like that meant that anyone who talked about the beta are now completely just ignore those videos because of this weekly. Because if you actually, on top of everything that's happened so far, getting more rewards for essentially a random variation and tickets to summon on like the side banner, that's not really important. I would assume that's what those tickets are for. This completely defunks a lot of talking points for the game. when it comes to the gacha, even more so, because now you have to go with this version than that version. And we don't know how much of a difference it is. Is it going to be like the weekly random farming? That is, I think, better than most gacha people talk about. And some people say they hate it, or it's a bad thing. It's like, bro, like, you farm summoning. You farm summoning. Even though it's not a lot, about 3 to 2 summons depending upon where you are in the game. And it's only per week. You're still able to farm summons. Okay, anyway.
Just as the name suggests, weekly routine tasks are updated every week. The routines will also get...
The issue with this is that it's going to be tied more so to the main modern gachas and what's Arknights. I don't hate the Annihilation. A lot of people do, but I'm really different when it comes to Arknights. I actually like to see my Arc-Braiders doing something. But Arknights is a completely different type of gameplay than, you know, this game. So I understand the change when it comes to the action. There's certain things that people say that make sense with the change, and it's like, I don't agree with. This, well, I'm not the biggest fan. I can understand the change because you're going to be more actively playing compared to, like, a tower defense game like Arknights. So, I can understand.
New tasks that reflect new releases. Even if some gameplay elements do not interest you as much, you can always opt to complete other tasks for maximum weekly routine.
Okay, that's a good point that a lot of gacha games don't actually do. So in this system, there's certain, like, not even just like the weekly, but more so like the battle pass. They love to give big-ass rewards to latest event releases. Let's say if you did not play for the game for a couple of months and are pretty much way behind, you get screwed over because you have the choice of spoiling yourself for whatever was released and not going through the proper way, or you miss out on that a lot of experience and not finish the battle pass. So it's like a big FU to have specific missions that are from the recent event, and that's the only way to get that score to max it out, or to easily max it out without tryharding. So hearing that this weekly routine will have stuff like that, but it's not the only way to max out the weekly routine, is a good thing.
Rewards. There are a lot of gameplay systems. They're all fun, but people might not be good at all of them. But now, missing certain tasks won't prevent you from...
It's not just that, but story reasons as well. It's not just the fact of being bad at it. It could be because it's a certain specific point in the story that you're not even close to. That you have to go through so much story shit just to get to that point, and it might take you over a month to do that. I'm looking at Hoyoverse here.
For maxing out your weekly rewards.
We
also made many optimizations to character progression.
Okay, lowered material weight difficulty, increase early game progression materials, increase progression gatherer rules, adjusted operator weapon level caps, max level lowered from level 99 to level 90. Oh, come on, we can't have Kingdom Hearts level system. Boo. Okay, joking aside, I understand they're going 90. I think they should have kept that level 99 just to be freaking weird. Okay? Anyway, and lowered enemy levels and trial difficulty exploration level 7. I'm guessing that they lowered the level because they assumed that the higher max level would be better off dealing with, you know, the higher difficulties, but they're lowering the difficulty of progression. So it makes sense them lowering, like, the base level, because you don't need that high of a level 99 if there was an actual difference between the two, compared to normal Arknights.
The overall progression experience has been improved. We lowered the difficulty for material gathering dungeons. The enemies now can be defeated quickly. Early progression materials have been increased. Endmans can now buy a lot more things with stock bills. The adventure manual and regional development level ups now give more progression materials to make early progression easier for our Endmans.
Again, I don't know how it was
We
before,
also lowered operator and weapon
really
level
say
caps,
much.
optimized operator and weapon leveling costs, and reduced enemy levels for high exploration levels and a few energy alluvium sites. World exploration and material dungeons will both be easier. You can farm materials more quickly to invest in the teams you like. The next optimization to talk about is gear artificing. We added a guarantee and improved the overall UI display. Artificing progress is now directly displayed to give you an idea of how much resources you need. Changes have been made to storage crates you discover during exploration. To keep it short, crates now give more oro barrels.
Okay, so they're pretty much making it easier to summon.
Light Zhong really likes his crates.
是的，是的，其实我们
It's a very simple idea, actually. We just want our endmins to have fun with early game, and make map exploration a good source for headhunting currency.
Okay.
招募的资源。
对，
We even changed a few crates into surprise crates that give you 150 oro barrels when opened.
So random chance.
That's very motivating for an explorer. One may just be hiding around the corner.
Okay, now that would be an interesting change that might make a lot of players mad, but I think would be rather funny. Having certain crates, no matter the level, be these surprise crates instead of being like really hard to find. That changes from whatever level it was to the max 150. That would entice 100% everyone to go for all the chests. Because that chance of getting that 150, bro, you ain't going back to any other gacha currency gaming system. Just say. Having a gacha in it, essentially a gacha system into getting gacha currency for a gacha system. That's not necessarily like, there's just like two options, and the first one is like the main option, second one is the better. That would definitely entice, but I think this is more so them hiding chests and really hard to find spots more so.
We want to encourage our endmins to explore and find these surprises.
Yeah. See?
For hardware performance, endmins playing on PC will get the 120 FPS option. NVIDIA DLSS super resolution and frame generation technology are also supported.
Some people will say yes, I say no, because you just need 60. That's being brutally honest. I think people going for higher are way too normalized on it. This is me just like very like being brutally like what's the best way of saying it? I want to say I don't think honest is the best word. There was another word I wanted to use, but
will give our endmins even more frames per second for that ultra smooth graphics. We're also adding experience enhancements for endmins who spend long hours in the game. Ray tracing has been added to a number of scenes in certain iOS devices. Controller mode for mobile devices has been added too, giving another option to endmins who seek better controls and immersion. The controller experience has been greatly optimized for various platforms. Some endmins have to use their PC when they want to play with a controller. With mobile controller support, overall experience for mobile gameplay is improved.
yeah.
This is especially helpful when you need to reposition your operators or quickly react to combat situations. Actual buttons feel more intuitive than virtual ones. You can now explore Talos 2 whenever, wherever, and however you want. I can't wait for the official release. We just introduced a number of key optimizations for the official release. There are plenty more changes that we can't elaborate given our limited time. We'll convey them to our endmins with our DevCom. We hope these changes will make our endmins' gameplay more enjoyable. Feedback from our endmins on headhunting is also very important to us. The next section will focus on headhunting improvements for the official release.
This might make or break a lot of people.
In Enfield, our banners are divided into headhunting for operators and arsenal issue for weapons. These two systems are distinctive by design. Need operators? Go to headhunting. Need more weapons? Go to the arsenal exchange. Headhunting permits or other special permits acquired from progressing through the game, missions, or purchases can be used in 3 types of banners. New Horizons.
I still don't like the fact that there's a weapon banner. Regardless of how better it is compared to other gachas, that is still another currency for another type of gacha. I still don't like it. It's not a good thing, and it can and could lead to biting them in the ass later on.
Headhunting, basic headhunting, and chartered headhunting. A number of high-rarity operators will appear in chartered headhunting. Let's start with New Horizons headhunting. For this banner,
so this is definitely changed because I remembered last time not being in here. So this is like the boring ass side banner shit. They definitely changed this because I don't remember Drillia here either. So unless I'm mistaken. So this is like your in normal Hoyoverse fashion. This is not the case for Arknights Enfield, unless they change this. But in Hoyoverse games, this is like the boring ass 5-star characters that you get picky on, versus the actual the main character you're going for. But if I'm understanding, if they keep it this way, this will be its own separate gacha system. So you won't see these characters with the limited if they keep in the same system. We'll say if they do, because they're saying they're changing the gacha system. So missions to acquire HH permits and guarantees on a 6-star operator upon completion get a bonus 6-star crate, which I'm guessing, if I remember correctly, you're able to choose the weapon. So I'm assuming whatever character you get, you can get their weapon.
Required headhunting permits are acquired entirely through gameplay progression. Completing the New Horizons headhunting banner also gives you an operator of the highest star level. For basic headhunting and chartered headhunting banners, Endmins are guaranteed to get an operator of the highest star level within 80 pulls. Also, for chartered headhunting, the rate-up operators of the current banner is guaranteed...
Wait. Did they say that you could get them in chartered headhunting as well? Or is it just normal in the other one? 120 attempts. Wait. That's changed. What? They made it worse? Okay. So, in Arknights, rough average, 60 pulls to get a 6-star guaranteed. I don't know if that's still the case for this, because it was 80 for Enfield originally. People freaked the fuck out because of the transferring over 120 still guaranteed, so that they remove the 80 guaranteed 6-star just because people freaked the fuck out. Is that what I'm understanding here? Here's like an chart. Okay. So it is 80. I was like, they weren't showing this. They decided to put this in the basic headhunting for some whatever fucked up reason, and they didn't put the charted in. Like, to say this was charted. Like, bro, you just kind of confused me there.
80 pulls. Also, for chartered headhunting, the rate-up operators of the current banner is guaranteed within 120 pulls. Additionally, the rate-up
Okay, yeah, so this is definitely changed, because it was, I believe it was Adrillia? Did they add Adrillia here, or was I mistaken? No, I think this was actually it. Okay. So I am wrong on that. I don't know why I thought Adrillia was here, but...
operator of an ongoing chartered...
I still don't like them being limited. This is another issue I have with the gacha system. Because at the end of the day, it's still FOMO. Like, Arknights, for the most part, doesn't really have enough FOMO. Like, sure, you could say limited, but it comes back in a year. Yes, technically. But that's still FOMO in its own right. But it's not as bad, because the majority of the gacha system isn't limited. The difference in Enfield is that most of these characters are constantly being limited, which creates more FOMO than the original, regardless of how the gacha system is, which is what is it called in science terms? Dark, fuck, I can't remember right now what it's exactly called. But yeah, I don't believe it's a good thing, personally, for at least when it comes to FOMO, because the more FOMO you create for the character, on top of any other issues I can have with the system, when you create more FOMO for a character, when that player leaves, it's going to be harder for the player to come back because they're less interested because there's so much FOMO. This is an issue that most gachas don't realize they have. This is not just the main issue I have with the system, but this is just one of many that you will come across. That I feel like gacha systems just don't realize can be an issue. Because you eventually, at some point, you will leave the game. For how long, I don't know. You will leave this game for some time. If the game becomes too FOMO, you won't have any interest. Most people just tend to lose interest in playing the game again. For speaking from experience, Hoyoverse games has this really badly. So, take that as you will. Again, I'm still not a big fan because who knows when they're gonna come back. Given Hoyoverse and how some characters are, some characters will be left behind in the dust. With this system, you will lose characters. Characters will not show up for a couple of years. People are going to be mad because the characters haven't shown up for a couple of years. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. As time goes on, this will be an issue with this side of system. Like, limited is like a couple of characters a year type of thing that you have to remember bringing back. And this is going to be like, eventually it's going to be like, majority of characters, up to 90% of characters, will be in the chartered headhunting at some point. That's going to be a lot of characters to remember to make sure to bring back every so often in a system like this. Unless they move these chartered headhunting characters into a different banner, that's just going to create a lot more talking points and later possible problems. I can go on and on and on. Just in general, like, a lot of people say, well, this will help with the amount of characters in the pool. It's like, I'm gonna be brutally honest. Just allow the person to choose which 6-star they want after a certain point with the pool system. Gacha games, you can do that, and people will be happier, and the pool system will just evaporate out of thin air, the issues of it. If you can just choose the 6-star you want. It's a simple fix, really. So if you have an issue with a large pool of characters, you could move them, or you could just allow the person to select which one they want. Make a set and banner they could do that with. Arknights kind of does this, but to a certain extent. I think they could do a way better job with it. I think Reverse 1999, to a certain extent, I think is so far the best I've seen with it. But I can't say much for myself because I haven't played long enough to know if it could be better or not. So, yeah. I could go on and on and on talking about this system and the major improvements that could have gone with it. It will stay in all possible operators lists for 3 banners, or before removed from the list, will not be added to basic headhunting. So they make it a point that it will not be added to basic headhunting, which I understand what they're trying to do here. That's still not great. There's still ways to go about it if you're really afraid of the pool system. Developers in gacha games aren't really. Let's be brutally honest. Look like Fire Emblem Heroes. Look at Fire Emblem Heroes. Yeah. But even then, they added systems that are interesting, just because that game's interesting gacha system to begin with. But I think they could also still do better off with the system to begin with. Anyway.
Headhunting banner will also appear in the next 2 chartered headhunting banners after their own banner expires. Banner reruns will also appear in the future, so you can plan your pulls accordingly.
Yes, that's like a no-brainer, and it doesn't surprise me that's a no-brainer. I just think that if that is the way you're gonna go about it, eventually characters will be left in the past. It will happen. Look at Hoyoverse and their ways of going about it. You're just gonna... Eventually, it will become such a problem that you're gonna lose characters, or there are gonna be so many fucking charted headhunting banners open at the same time. It's gonna look bad, regardless of which way you're gonna go. So to me, I think going back to the old system, and then allowing you to choose which 6-star you want to go for, it is such a bad concept for the gacha developers. They hate it for some reason, but it's the simple, easiest fix for this issue.
After 60 chartered headhunting pulls, you'll also get a headhunting dossier that auto-converts to a special 10 times permit for the next chartered headhunting banner. Don't forget to use it on time.
I don't really like it.
The official release is also getting the urgent recruitment feature after making...
I personally think the system is just a boring system that tries to push you into the next banner. To me, I don't really care about the system. I think 10 pulls is fucking nothing, realistically, for 120. Depending upon how the gacha system is at the end of the day. To me, I just look at it and be like, okay, I don't really give a fuck, but okay. I don't think it's gonna really make much of a difference, but okay.
30 chartered headhunting pulls, you'll also get a free 10 times pull for the current banner. But please note that this free 10 times pull is not counted towards the guarantee. However, if you do get what you want with this free 10 times pull, the guarantee is not affected either.
Really?
Similarly, these free pulls are not counted towards the guarantee.
Okay. I think they're doing this just for re-rolling. Because a lot of people will re-roll. It's a gacha thing. I hate it. It completely and utterly destroys the first time playing experience. Because at this point, you're trying to get for the character to be good at the game with ease, but you're not actually learning how to play the fucking game. This is an issue that I've seen time and time again for almost every single gacha game out there. Maybe some people can actually learn how to play the game, but a lot of people don't. And they always go for the meta operator, and then wonder why they get their asses beat. It's gonna happen with this game. I don't like it. I think it's really stupid. It ruins the experience that the developers intended for you to experience. Even if they did it just because, maybe for re-rolling. This is like the only application for it is re-rolling. Personally. Like, the 10 freebie, just because of when they want to feel like it, I think at this point is like just for, this banner specifically, because it's the launch of the game. I don't think it's going to be a continuous thing, personally. Unless it is going to be permanent, but they didn't say it was. Because it's just a release celebration thing. So because of it being a release celebration, the fact that doesn't count, I think it's just rerolling purposes, that's all. I think it's a nothing burger. Personally, I'm not a big fan either. It doesn't really help, so what's the point of it? Because you're just going to get random ass shit that doesn't really help you out.
10 times pull is not counted towards the guarantee. However, if you do get what you want with this free 10 times pull, the guarantee is not affected either.
Really lucky,
Similarly,
like
these free
Arknights,
pulls are not counted towards the guarantee. Given the special occasion of our release celebration, we'll be opening
be helpful at all.
3 chartered headhunting banners in this order: Scars of the Forge, the Floaty Messenger, and Hues of Passion. And for these 3 chartered headhunting banners of the release celebration, operators from an upcoming banner might make a surprise appearance in an earlier banner too. For example, you'll have a chance to pull Gilberta and Yvonne during the Scars of the Forge banner.
Oh!
Now, back to the arsenal.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Because they haven't released yet, you can get randomly spooked by them. It's an interesting system because, like in most gacha games, it's usually the character you know 2 weeks ahead, but you can't get, but then you eventually get them when they actually release. This system's different because technically, new gacha characters will be released 2 weeks in advance. An interesting way to put it, and to go about it. So you could get a new character, you're just gonna have to wait for that character to release. Interesting way to go about it, which means people are gonna have to wait in advance like 2 to 4 weeks before the character they want to pour for comes out. When you think about it, it's kind of like, that is a mindfuck in its own right. It's interesting. You could still get that character, but I feel like it's gonna mess with a lot of people who can't wait, who have a attention fan of a goldfish. So that actually might create a lot of FOMO. that system might actually be worse promo than some of the Hoyoverse shenanigans. Just because that character's there, you might have a chance to get it. How much pulls are you gonna go for? Probably way more than you normally. You get what I'm saying? It's like, it's a back and forth. Like, I get what they're going for, but I feel like it's actually a double-edged sword. I feel like a lot of people who can't wait 4 weeks in advance for a character to come out will bash their heads in trying to go for said character.
Exchange we just mentioned. Headhunting not only gives you operators, but arsenal tickets for getting weapons as well. There are many ways to get arsenal tickets. In addition to headhunting, you can also get them from the credit store, weekly routine, and a number of bundle purchases. You can also get them from the protocol pass.
Yeah, so when it comes to weapon banners, you can't really just use your random adjacent for weapons. You can also exchange geometries for them. I'm assuming. Okay, so it's these. Okay. So maybe not. I don't know. Like, there's a random and a originium. So is geometries like the equivalent to Origium? Excuse me, in Arknights?
Unlike
I don't
Beta
know.
Test 2,
We'll see.
the official release also lets you convert Origeometries into Arsenal tickets. To get weapons, you can spend Arsenal tickets to perform an Arsenal issue that gives 10 weapons at once. Arsenal tickets can also be used to directly purchase certain 5- or 6-star weapons. Some in-game features may also give you weapons. Arsenal issue also has a guarantee system. For every issue banner, a weapon of the highest star level is guaranteed in 4 issues. The rate-up weapon is guaranteed in 8 issues. We added something at the 10th issue, which gives an arms offering crate that lets you get a non-rate-up weapon of choice. After that, every 8 issues gives you a rate-up weapon or an arms offering crate in rotation. Every investment will be worth its while. We also went over our Enmin's Beta Test 2 feedback and extended the duration of the Arsenal issue banners. And for the official release, these issue banners will be available in the following order: Smelting Forge issue, Express Delivery issue, and Graffiti issue. Now, let's briefly talk about the Protocol Pass. The Protocol Pass is a milestone system based on daily gameplay and progression.
Thinking about Protocol Pass and Game Pass stuff, I'm not a fan. Like, to me, I think it's just a lot of button clicks. Just because, oh, here's your dopamine rush for doing stuff type of mentality. It's just, to me, I don't like these types of passes in general. Just because I think they're boring. Personally, they're just boring. Like, sure, they're trying to go with an interesting system. Looks like you don't have to buy it, but looks like you'll use Origeometry to go for this, and if you keep doing it, you get the 2nd level. I generally don't see it being worth it unless it has something unique to it, like a skin. That's different. But if it's just random ass shit that can help you get more summons and like that, I just kind of end up finding it boring eventually. I just stopped caring. Realistically, it's just, okay, cool. This is just a nuisance at this point. Because you keep wanting me to click on it just because, oh, hey, here, you did something!
In addition to the basic supply and the paid protocol customized tiers, you can also spend Origeometries to unlock the Originium supply tier that also rewards you with Origeometries. For the official release, we improved Protocol Pass rewards of various tiers.
在继续往下之前啊，我们也想说句实话，这段时间准备公测，我们真的很紧张，
我感觉也绷不住了。
是的，一方面呢，是因为周末地终于要和大家见面了；但另一方面，我们其实也总是在想，我们还能为管理员的启程到底多做点什么？
对，所以趁今天这个机会啊，我们也想亲手为大家准备一些礼物，也算是我们的一点心意了。
哦，那你要说这个，你看我发现什么了？
Oh, they're doing the whole
给大家看一下啊，
crazy
看到这2个圆盘，老师懂了吧？
这个完全就是熟悉的手感，熟悉的
So,
味道。
how is low like
看
an
到这
achieve?
个轮盘的时候，我相信老玩家的 DNA 都已经动了啊！我也想要这个，说实话。
看来今天有机会延续一下咱们的手气了。那可以看一下，简单咱们介绍一下规则吧。我们的今天所有奖励都会通过这2个圆盘来给大家发放啊。 首先，我们会请阮老师转这边的圆盘来确定咱们的奖励类型。上面有很多实用道具啊，这个千金玉、折金票、作战记录都是我想要的东西啊。然后我们会请海猫老师来再转这边的圆盘来确定咱们的奖励倍数。那么这个规则大家应该也都了解了啊。我们就先请阮老师。
哦，让我先来。来了。
哦，看一看我们成功的第一步，加油啊，阮老师！
这音票也不是不行吧？
也不是不行吗？
也不是不行吧？
没关系，阮老师，我们要相信
海猫。
对，这个 RA 无论怎么转，我相信老玩家的眼中，在我的这个转盘上只有一种选择，是吧？就是大家都知道，在方舟的话，这个转盘有个规则怪，就是当转盘没有被观测的时候，它是有多种状态的叠加态的。但是当转盘出现在节目现场的时候，它的结果很有可能只会通向一个。
我来就是为了看这个是不是真的。海文老师，来给大家展示一点功夫吧。
好，我们开始。
哦，
有点问题。这个转盘不好说啊。
此时此刻，
恰如
彼时彼刻。
好吧，那么我佩服了，好功夫啊，一下就赚到了欧呢。
感
谢我们2位老师。也恭喜我们的管理员了。这次奥呢，可以直接包括500千金玉、6000张折机票、30张初期作战记录、30个武器检查单元、5个协议扔柱、5个协议圆盘。大家不要忘记通过兑换码领取哦。
Redemption code. Why? Couldn't you just give it to us in the in-game mail instead of a redemption code? Make it the system's. Why are you making it so hard just to do a code when you can just give it through the mail? Why does it need to be a redemption code? Okay, I feel like this was, I think they could have done a better job with this. They just could have just given it to the mail. Like they did for Arknights. Why make it a code?
Attention please. System check. Enfield is waiting on the icon. The myth. The legend. They're getting closer and lovelier with unspeakable menace underneath.
This is not gonna be like a song TV thing. Okay. It is a song, but I don't think this is gonna be copyrighted.
What is the deal? Still kept concealed.
Like there's a certain like feel when it's like, okay, this is definitely going to be copyrighted. This, no.
Homeland is crushed. Crisis changing, crisis waiting. Angels are waking up. Let's face it. Integrated industry, production line set, everything. Free parts machine, seed machine. Things you ain't seen, but they will run clean. Blueprints save us all the labor.
I can't wait to have commercials. Like, if you know from Arknights, commercials are like the most insane shit they've like created. That it's like so much creativity to them, and it's just generally for the most part funny.
No way, a garbage truck? Now take the ride, feel the drive, and I'm ready to go. I run free like the wind, just as free like the wind.
And it does a lot of good world building too when they do commercials, so we'll see if they do that for Enfield in the future.
除了跟随主线剧情、推进等级和内容之外呢，我们在地图设计中也埋入了大量可以玩的细节。以公测版本开放的50前2张地图为例，它被划分成了多个风格各异的区域。管理员呢，既可以跟随支线任务前进，也可以完全按照自己的节奏自由探索。那接下来就一起随我们去看看吧。
往前走走看，哎，旁边有个光点，不行，这个必须要摸一下，我不摸不舒服。
确实，白捡的怎么能不要呢？
哦，那我们接着往前走再看看。哇，哦，这就是50乘4K 的效果吗？我还真的是第一次看哎，
太漂亮了！
哇，真的有点震撼的。
不愧是塔维尔第一雄关。
确实，这么看非常的细节。不行，我们马上得从旁边下去看看吧。
哦，能走进去？
走。哎，这有一个。
哦，电梯，不错。
你知道我最不喜欢电梯了。
哎，so
积极过。
哦，果然是体育生啊，体质就是好。
前面有个协议传送点啊，我们还需要解开一下，以后肯定也要再回来的。
这是我们的一个传送点，解锁了之后，后面就可以更方便的过来了。
好
At
东
a
西。
certain point, you get bored of the
最后
system.
呢，这里再上个主法，
这难道是传说中的新能源主法？
带博主法。
But there's a lot of unique
刚竣
things
工啊，
going
抓工
on
啊，
here.
这是什么？
Like,
这个
could
给
you
大家
jump
展
in
示一
the
下我的
water?
神秘大工程。
See,
还要放
哦
滑
I
索。
doubt it.
上滑索，
Probably can't.
启动。
Put your no. Halo logic.
哦，这我们游戏里面非常有特色的一个滑索，可以
我
看东西。
最喜欢这个。
那通过建设不同的滑索啊，管理员们可以自由穿行于这个地图之
Oh
间，
yeah, I
大大
did
提
see
升
at
这个
least
跑图
a
效率。而且这个
video
滑索
of someone
的
using
建造
the
位置是大家可以
system
自定义
to
的。
cheat in a
对，
race.
而且我特意把它放在了我特别喜欢的一个东西旁边，就是这个天师庄阵列。哇，近看我觉得它真的非常有气势，说实话。
啊，既有功能性又有观赏性。
啊，那肯定必须
前有绝景啊，
那这么好的滑索，你搭了多久？
这个事
Simply
儿不能细
function
问，但是会
could
说2个
actually
小时。
really just be a sightseeing tool more than anything.
剑锁一直爽，健身手到一直爽。
对啊，
啊，这个前面有个小机器人拼图啊，好想拿这 SOS 啊。
I
不
think
要慌，
it
等
depends
会儿
on
下
how
滑
much
索
freedom
再
you
去
get.
摸它
Like,。can you put
这
like
又
get
绕
on
远
top
了
of buildings?
而且这里专门停在了一个我觉得水的这个区域下来很舒服。
不过确实是一个不错的入城索道，还可以用来啊送货。
对，还有送货明星。
那我们刚刚领了个任务啊，告诉说我们这个下面的水塘里面藏了好东西啊，
下面好像真的有东西在发光，也看见没？
哦，对，
这是有东西。
就直接下去会
不行不行不行不行
Okay,
不
so
行
you
不行
can
不行。
kind of go in
这
water,
个任
but
务有些玩家可能也有记得啊。
赶紧看看。
那聪明的管理员一定想到了，需要用我们的集成工业系统。
哦，整个水泵。
对，我们要先把这个水池给抽干啊。
哦，整个水泵刚好我包里带了啊。
你一定掉
对
过。
对。整个水泵，哦，水泵出来之后呢，我们得把水运到一个地方，所以这里必须要拉一条管道出来，
对，接上管
对
道。，
接到我们的别的系统里面。哦，这样哦还不行还不行还不行，我们必须再给它上电，那水泵工作要电的嘛，对不对？
对，好，接上电，大功告成。
哦，大功告成
可以开始。
哦，大家看看这个水管里面是不是出来水了？
哦，对
对，对对，源源不断呀。
哦，
我们等就可以了。
哦，等一会儿就可以了，我们先
okay, so
等一
that's
会儿
an
呗。
interesting way of going about it.
要不
so
先
that
玩
what
点
if
别
you
的
do
先转一下
it
吧。
does
啊，
哦
A few moments later，已经过了一阵子了啊，这个该回来看看了，这个水抽干没？
应该抽干了。
哎，怎么感觉这个页面咋感觉好像
这水还
还没动啊，
没
还没动啊？什么
什
情况
什么？情况？
想必自然是这个
什么东西？
水池有4万的水
4万单位的水，
一台水泵怎么够呢？
这个完全抽不动呀，这咋整？
超级加倍啊！
忍不了，忍不了，
超级加倍，
再
超级加倍
整点，再整点，再整点，这不行，给他安排上。哎呀，我靠，没想到这边
So
这么
eventually
这
you
么多
will
水的
drain
吗
the？
原来
water.
是这么
It's
解
just
决问
gonna
题的
take a long
当
time.
然，这个
拉满
这个
拉满
不然怎么太容易拿到就这个就被人保障？就会
匀一下，
被人
匀一下，匀一下位置。OK，这里可以，这里可以。
话说咱们这真的不算是破坏当地环境吗，大哥？
哎呀，没事儿，我们抽完了，最后再给它弄回来了，就不算破坏了呀。
有道理呀。
那你还可以把精制过的比较优良的药水灌到这个池子里。
啊，
啊，
亏你想得到。可以可以，
这也
等会儿我们再来
是
看看吧。
很多同学的智慧。
这个地方好大的野外啊！这个里面，
Could you flood some
等一下，
areas?
你感不感觉这个墙有点不太一样？
有东西，有东西。
这个装置代表着前面需要攻击。
哦哦，摸了这里面。哦，看来真的别有洞天，对不对？
哦，太神奇了！你这不是我们的原矿吗？
米质，还有大号宝箱，还有3个。
哦，前面有宝箱，那这些小怪对不起了，
哦，
必须安排一波。OK，我们先让管理员用一个重击，然后小陈赶紧补上一个技能。这个时候我们稍微缓一缓啊，稍微缓，按出这个重击之后，管理员摸他一下 ，OK，管理员一个大招，然后能让他掉很多血。哦，两个东西来，赶紧闪开，赶紧闪开，赶紧闪开。
好功夫呀，Ra 哥！
哦，不行，他们现在这个东西有点太猛。OK，刚好现在碰住他了。
哦，还好。
先控他。
OK
赶紧。
OK，刚好这个时候触发了个军卫连线技，然后配合军卫的大招，我们使用他的连线技，然后顺便触发军卫大招的一个效果，然后不行，他在这个状态有点控不住，
I'm surprised that didn't
这个时候
stop.
使用大潘的技能，
停下来。
Okay, that
哦，
did.
太帅了这下！
But
然后小陈一个技能上来，
1-6 started.
我们先把这只解决了，那只等一下再管他。OK，小陈这个大招先把这只解决了。OK，最后只剩一只了啊，这个手到擒来啊，
流畅，Ra 哥。
这个操作 还行吧，还行吧。
哦，击操6下，坐下。
还行。
果然面对这种比较棘手的怪，还是需要控制的。
哦，对，我把里面一个技能收掉了。
这套配对我学会了，
这就
超了。
这一套属于是我用的比较顺手的物理队，还可以的。
抓牛亲自推荐。
啊，又过了好久啊，这个水也该抽干了吧？大力出奇迹啊！
差不多了，你看，哦，看这里面真的水好像真的全部抽干了耶。
哦，我害怕，我们在往下看的时候，不会有人把我们踹下去吧？
没事，我不会踹你的。
没事，现在我们缺一个光头的 NPC 啊。
啊。哎，
这个是我们游戏里面一个可以用射流无人机交互的一个玩意儿，大家看一下。
哦，是我们武陵城新解锁的一个互动道具。
器具清一清。
对，大家可以在这里面尽情的接下来探索里面的宝藏。
里面有很多东西，很多层，可以慢慢玩。
哦，等一下，什么情况，饶哥？
哎，
快跑！
哎呀，我先跑一下，哎呀，这不行啊，这个。总不会是我操作问题吧？这个总不会是我操作问题吧？
要不要提升练度啊？
应该不用吧？哦，有办法了。我们游戏其实除了提炼度之外，还有一个办法能解决这个问题。哦，看我们的解决方法。
虽然不知道是什么，但我开始笑了。
这里放了很多塔。
啊，
我看到了好多塔呀！
哦，天使们，你们可识得此阵？
没错，这塔一圈绕一圈的，这就是中末地工业真正的战斗
力量。OK， 开始摸，开打。
好高的伤害。
完全不需要管理员出手啊。
对啊，你们再来打我呀？怎么现在不打我了呢？这个就是我们中末地的百玩挂机攻略。
简直是科秒，这才是
I mean, a lot of people probably just
还真是。
摸2下，惬意的走开。
这个战斗机械原来真的有这么强的战斗力。
打我呀！
看。你有点坏了，
选择真正能赢的战斗方式，获得胜利。
That actually might be something someone would do. Like I would not be surprised.
我们刚刚体验到的是丰富的塔维尔的改造内容。那管理员刚刚看到的也会与中末地中另一个重要的玩法集成工业系统的巧妙结合。
那集成工业系统到底是什么呢？那它能干什么？两位老师能不能给我们管理员都仔细的介绍一下呢？
别着急，关于集成工业系统，这次我们也制作了一个小短片，大家一起来看一下吧。
Hear the factory's call. The legendary clothes shall be awakened. A hammer-forged body of steel shall withstand and defeat thundering impacts. Let the restless industry of the AIC achieve the miracle of mass production. AIC Factory. Gear up and forge the future. Unlimited supply, no lucky draws.
The best varieties.
Okay. I was sorry about the
all natural tastes and
commercials.
flavors
Here we are.
guaranteed.
Again, this is the thing. I
From
was
the
talking about it
vine to
earlier.
the dinner table, from the orchard to your eyes, the quickest way to satisfy your palate. Freshly delivered. Just open and enjoy. AIC Factory. With these flavors, we shall satisfy the future. Administrator Authority level verified. AIC Factory officially deployed. Outpost basic needs fulfilled. Production efficiency is at 300% of pre-deployment levels. Damaged vehicles and large machinery repaired. Power supply network optimized. Post-deployment operational efficiency is stabilizing at 120% of early estimates. Modular and agile production deployables are the next step of industrial evolution. AIC Factory. With technology, we shall build a future. Enfield Industries Company is currently seeking talented individuals. If you are studying civil engineering, smart construction, geological engineering, automation, smart devices and systems, robotic engineering, industrial intelligence, biological engineering, chemical engineering and technology, environmental science and engineering, materials science and engineering, or food engineering, please get in touch with us.
For Enfield, carrying out exploration, development, and production on Talos 2 and leaving behind a useful legacy is very important. This is why we designed the AIC Factory. You can use AIC Factory facilities to create your own automated production lines. Start with simple lines and gradually expand them to a large industrial complex. Once it starts working, the AIC Factory will endlessly produce gear, medication, and other materials to support exploration and combat. We also know that some admins want quality of life features. Progressing through the game unlocks the blueprint system. You can treat blueprints as verified AIC solutions. With blueprints, you can quickly build, copy, move, and delete entire production lines. This feature will let you place massive AIC factories in no time. You can use simulation tutorials to learn about the production logic, then deploy functional lines with a single button. Once you get the hang of it, you can save your own designs as blueprints for reuse, and even share them with other admins. We hope to share blueprints with various admins and discuss about designs that are peak efficiency, or even peak clowning. But do send your fantastic blueprints my way. Having everyone discussing and sharing great ideas is what we want to see. As for the ultimate factory solution, we're counting on our admins to figure it out. As you continue to explore, Enfield will also set up outposts in various regions. These regions may have unique features that affect the looks of the AIC factory. For example, Wuling is a land of mountains and flowing rivers. The factory will revolve around pumping and processing fluids. Mass production of a special material called zeronite will also become possible. I really like these outposts with their unique features, landscapes, and demands for goods. In the process of designing various AIC factories to meet their needs, some focus on producing combat gear and medication, while others support trade and regional development to drive outpost growth. Even within the same region, different admins bring unique ideas, resulting in vastly different outposts. Automated production, regional development, and industrial evolution based on local geography. Building the AIC factory is a step-by-step process. We hope the AIC factory experience will let our admins realize that this is more than just automation, but a major force in transforming the whole of Talos 2. We just revealed the tip of the iceberg. As for the stuff that lies in store, I think it's best we leave it for our admins to discover. Besides, the core feature we just introduced, the game has tons of interesting content that await your discovery. This includes Operator's narrative events. On the day of official release, the new narrative event for Laevatain, Let Fire Consume the Ashen Past, will also become available. This story shall start from your first meeting with her. Open the stone gate of the ice fields, follow the traces, and approach the deepest recesses of your memories. The journey is more than just battles. While journeying across Valley 4 and Wuling, you can also capture the landscape you saw along the way and take photos of moments from your adventure. You can even take photos to complete missions and earn rewards. From the mysterious results of AIC factories to quirky interactions, you can capture it all. There are also places with details that calls for a closer look. Like that final door at the River Bandit Cave. There's actually stuff inside. The research center also has an ordinary-looking phantom wall hiding a mysterious bookshelf. It awaits your discovery. Future versions will also have a lot of interesting features. Let's look at some of them right now. Exploration can be tiring. Our admins can return to Dijiang whenever they want a break. While aboard Dijiang, you can interact with operators. The ship also has functional cabins where you can link up with other admins, showcase your achievements, trade elastic goods, and even dive into a mysterious realm to explore and hunt for treasure. I really like this place. The journey may take us to distant places, but we need a place to call home. We're adding clue collection to the reception room. Admins are welcome to send and receive clues to each other.
No!
This looks super
No!
familiar.
Why are you bringing this system back? I hate this system. It's not a bad system, but after a certain point, I stopped using the system, and it's just like, why does this exist? To me, like, after a certain point, I don't really have a reason to go for credits anymore. I tried suggesting things to add 4 credits to entice or bring me back. No. The whole credit system needs, to do something. No more Arknights. So I'm not really excited for this. Like, because there's nothing really to it aside from like really basic free rewards. I'm just gonna ignore it. That's just how it is.
Isn't it? While walking around Dijiang, you might catch your operator lounging and resting. It's a vibe I want to be a part of. Besides exploring the mysterious realm aboard Dijiang, we also prepared several permanent gameplay features for our Enmins.
刚才一口气看下来，感觉哇，内容量好大，有点要信息过载了。
但别担心啊，管理员可以按照自己的节奏慢慢体验这些内容。像干员叙事活动啊，我们也是逐步更新的。公测当天会开放栏位和莱万厅的，那公测后呢，还会陆续开放杰尔佩塔、伊冯的叙事活动。
通过这些故事，又多了一个途径了解我们的干员，也能慢慢的拼出他们各自的立场和选择。哎，对了，关于常驻玩法，刚才好像也看到了之前没有太见过的新内容啊，能不能请两位趁这个机会把常驻玩法的系统给管理员们介绍介绍呢
？DC 老师很细心啊，这个当然可以了。
Let's start with Etch Space Salvage. Use the spatial device aboard Dijiang to enter it. Explore different areas and complete various commissions. Collect gatherables and ores to improve your exploration capacities. They are also exchangeable for ore barrels. Next is our Umbral Monument that offers a series of rather difficult challenges. Unlike Beta Test 2, the Umbral Monument is now a permanent feature and we added time challenges to it. Complete the goals within the countdown to earn even more.
No, oh god, no. Did they not just, no. Please don't tell me it's the time-limited, only way to get summon resources event style that every single Hoyoverse game does. I really hope not. I really hope not. Because that's just gonna be power creep nonsense. We already know what Honkai Star Rail, how that's became because of that. That, I don't think is a good thing, actually. Like, being brutally honest. That is not a good thing to hear. That's all I can really say.
Ore barrels. Meet the requirements to earn engraved medals, and then trim it.
Oh.
Rules for normal mode have been improved to let you bring tacticals into the challenge. We hope this will get more Enmins to attempt these challenges.
This is
the final
I
permanent
feel like they have not learned the faults of Hoyoverse.
feature is Delver of the Cryptic with spatial sets of challenges. Each spatial set has a number of protocol spaces. Complete them to get a one-time reward of ore barrels and progression materials. Meeting certain requirements also gets you an engraved medal. It doesn't matter if you want to explore and loot, fight a tough battle, or solve puzzles. There's something for everyone. All Enmins are welcome to take up these challenges.
How does a mountain herb become Jinsao drink? Our story begins when the morning sun pours upon Hengshan and stirs the local flora awake. Jinsao is the essential raw material for this beverage. To improve production, the seed picking unit will nurture wholesome seeds raised from wild stock. From there, the planting units will raise every seed to perfection. The shredding units then convert plant matter into fine powder. When mixed with water purified through Hengshan's unique technology, it forms an aqueous mixture, which undergoes a final refinement to yield a pristine solution. Precision filling and packaging are subsequently carried out on an automated production line. Instant and sustainable recovery. Jinsao drink. The travel companion you can depend on.
Talos 2 is a pretty big place. When are you setting off? Wuling Travel Service, your one-stop solution for a perfect adventure of Talos 2. I know the entire place like the back of my hand. I've been in the pioneering business for years. Need to reach a precipitous vantage point, but couldn't figure out how. Not a prop. I got the perfect workaround. In for the thrill and suspense. We got those options too. Fun and satisfaction guaranteed. Haba haba! See that? Living, breathing ecology. You won't get this anywhere else. Weapons, gear, local produce. You got a need, I got you fixed. Don't worry about angry pieces of local geology. Delivery is guaranteed upon payment. Naturally, good stuff costs a bit of a premium. Food time, and this is where the magic happens. Wuling Travel Service. Fun plus the bestest of bad on board. Yum, yum. Super rich protein spiced up with all natural condiments. A single bite is all you need for this gastronomic ecstasy. Wuling Travel Service. Your bestest travel companion in Talos 2. Service begins once you leave the door. Satisfaction guaranteed.
So they're just adding in like different.
Welcome back,
perks of
Enmins.
people.
Having introduced our official release content, we'd like to invite you to join us for a glimpse of the future of Talos 2. The story of Valley 4 reminds us that some factions are already testing the fringes of the civilization band. On the eve of an even larger blight disaster, our Enmins are quickly led to Qingbo Stockade in the outskirts of Wuling City. It's a place where conspiracies stir. As the story progresses, you suddenly lose contact with Supreme Chief Tong Tong of Qingbo Stockade that you met and befriended earlier on. Meanwhile, you receive news of Bone Crushers suddenly appearing near Qingbo Stockade. With so many things happening at once, you're forced to head to Qingbo Stockade to check on Tong Tong, as well as the local situation. An old friend who disappears and landbreakers showing up. It doesn't sound like a coincidence. And once you step into Qingbo Stockade, you realize that the situation is far more complicated and dangerous than you expected. Things that transpired in Qingbo Stockade won't stop there. As you press forward, you learn that even Wuling will not be safe in the face of the Blight Tide.
Spoilers!
This boundary bastion of peace and order will face its own trials. The story will continue. Your choices will be crucial, Enmins. The path ahead will open up more regions. You'll also be able to meet more companions to fight along your side. The next 2 version updates following the official release will come with a new map to explore and discover. Hence, Tong Tong of Qingbo Stockade will be a key character. What will be her choices? How would she choose to fight alongside our Enmins? Her story.
Okay, so we have the Italian girl. Not certain about her. You have the main girl, dragon, probably Shu character. You have that one that looks like Tallulah. Not certain about him. Not certain about her.
Is really something to look forward to. And do keep following our updates.
说到新伙伴和新道路，其实从预约开始到现在，这段旅程一直有许多管理员陪着我们。在这里呢，也非常感谢每一位管理员的关注与支持。明日方舟周末地目前已经达成了全球3500万的预约里程碑目标，同时呢，全球官方社媒的关注奖励也已经全部解锁。
5星干员骤雪、20张基础寻访凭证、5星武器、终点之声等全部里程碑奖励，我们会在公测开启后，通过邮件内邮箱发放给每一位管理员。
我们也会在近期正式开启预约下载，管理员们可以提前做好准备，等到公测开启后的第一时间内直接进入塔维尔。
在正式踏上塔维尔之前啊，我们还为管理员们准备了一份临行清单。
哈，没错，预抽卡活动临行事项已经开启。
在物资中心最多进行10次抽取，必定获得5星武器钢铁鱼鹰。
欢迎管理员邀请自己的好友一同助力。
是的，期待大家的参与哦。
I don't like these types
为
of
了给
events.
管理员多准备一些后勤支持，这次我们的朋友 SK Port 也为大家准备了不少活动与工具支持。
首先呢是下载福利，预下载开启后， 管理员们前往 SKport 下载《明日方舟周末地》，就可以解锁千金玉、SKport 外观等专属福利，并且呢还能参与额外的抽奖活动。
同时还有签到工具，公测开启后前往 SKport 完成明日方舟周末地的签到，前3次还可以获得额外千金玉奖励。
另外 SKport 也即将推出管理员工作记录手册，大家可以用它来记录自己在塔维2的探索经历与重要瞬间，同时呢也能领取对应的千金玉奖励哦。
除了这些福利啊，SKport 还准备了不少实用的游戏工具，希望能帮助管理员们在探索、规划和日常体验上走得更顺一些。
管理员，欢迎登录 SKport。
It's on air, 0 days legal. Right,
Every minute I thought it was gonna be easy.
Wow, you're hopeless. Well, then this one's for you, my friend. No clue what's next, but guaranteed your moms will hate it. And we got letters about music.
So, 6-star character, music videos, site videos for the
Even when order smothers the sky, rhythms still punch through the concrete. And no aesthetic comments, but if you can still hear an attitude, you're not completely lost. Any melody on our airwaves? At least it's unapproved. Damn it, they're here. Metal Scar Radio, wrong frequency, right texture. Don't panic if we go silent. We'll annoy you again. We'll just switch channels.
刚刚我们似乎接入了一段神秘信号，还听到了来历不明的石音。
看来是误打误撞接入了铁痕电台的频道。那这个神秘电台里啊，可藏着不只有这一点内容哦，还有更多惊喜，就留给管理员们亲自用耳朵去探索。
来到漫画方面，以佩里卡为主角的故事《诺言》即将和管理员们见面。10年前，小佩里卡跟随着管理员来到中末地学习与生活的点滴。聪明的小佩里卡在地江号上与管理员和性格各异的中末地干员们碰撞出的各种趣事儿，也为当时处于紧张备战期的地江号带去了难得的活力与生机。他的梦想，管理员的期望，相信都能在这段故事中找到答案，请大家敬请期待。
以及《明日方舟》官方4格漫画123罗德岛与周末地联动的特别短篇漫画456周末地也要快上线了，究竟会碰撞出怎样的混乱与笑声呢？准备好迎接这场欢乐风暴了吗？
此外，还有 Q 版多格漫画《加油吧，中末地》，这是一部轻松搞笑的日常作品，带大家换个角度感受地江号的日常生活。或许大家能在这部漫画中感受到与游戏中不一样的中末地干员哦。
说到视野啊，周末地的旅程从一开始就不只是局限于脚下的这片土地，我们一直希望能和大家一起把目光一次次的投向更远的地方。
而这一次啊，我们想做的可能比之前都更加远一点，把探索的方向指向了星海。我们将在1月16号开启捐与明星共赴
Voyage to the Stars Special Event。
星海的特别网页活动，管理员可以通过网页登录的账号确认登记信息。凡是参与登记并在公测后创建角色的管理员，你在周末地中的昵称和 UID 都会被刻录进特制的协议原石模型里。
最关键的是，这个承载着大家名字的协议原石将会跟随卫星一起离开地表，被发射至太空。
我的名字真能上太空吗？这是在宇宙里留下我们共同的坐标啊！这样的想法真的太浪漫了，绝对会成为我们最独一无二的经历。
是的，我自己啊也一定会参加。小时候啊，仰望星空，总觉得那片宇宙遥不可及。现在能有这样的机会，用这样一种方式，感觉我们和星空的距离真的被拉近了一步。
我当然也会参加了，而且我觉得最重要的是，这次是和所有的管理员们一起参加这个活动。想想看，我们的名字将共同跨越天际，走进星海，这不正是最棒的同行吗？我们再次诚挚地邀请每一位管理员参与，让我们一起见证这个名字走出边界，迈向星海的时刻吧。
接下来我们想跟管理员们分享一些联动活动情报。为了丰富管理员们的体验，也希望能在不同的场景里和大家相遇。明日方舟周末地将与世界各地的品牌展开多项合作，来一起看看吧。
Wow. Hey. I'm very sarcastic. I'm gonna be brutally honest, but probably not gonna end up in
更
any
多
way,
合
shape,
作
or
细节
form.
我们会在后续陆续与大家分
Dealing
享。
with that.
管理员们可以关注官方社媒查看
Not
详
because
细联
I
动情报
have
哦
no。interest, it's just nowhere even close, aside from like the merch collaboration shenanigans they're doing. Okay, so they're showing off these characters. We don't even know what they originally looked like, by the way. Aside from maybe one of them. Okay, I say that. I'm assuming it's the Doctor and Perkilia. Because they usually do this for, specifically the Sweet Siblings. Not necessarily other characters. Also, so far they have not done the CN live stream yet, which I think they're gonna do it
欢迎
around
回来
the，release
管理
of
员们。
Enfield.
全新的吉祥物生活
Just
账
because
号
I
龙
think
泡
the
泡
Sweet
和山
Siblings
团
go
团
on to be
正
the
式
main
上线，
character
和龙泡泡、
of
山团
the
团、山
current
山兔一起度过
region
轻松
here
愉快的日常吧。
That's my
接
prediction.
下来这一条，我知道很多管理员会特别期待。周末地工业也将迎来自己的实体化。我们与星环重工的联动带来了2款巨能构建系列的发光摆件。
能看到有原石抑制器与协议核心，以及集成工业设备盲盒。重工协议的 A、B 组带上原石抑制器，投放协议核心，摆上基建设施。管理员们在家里也能体验集成工业系统的筹划乐趣了。
在手办方面，
Well, so
周末
they're
地
already
的
doing
第一批
figures already?
1:7比例的手办即将登场。干员陈千羽、
Cool.
佩丽卡
Get up、
伊冯
without
都会以
going out
精美
your
的
way
实
to
体造
try
型
to.
与大家见面。我们会在未来陆
So
续
I'm
公布各个
hoping
企划
that
的详
if
情
they actually，
各
do
位管理
this,
员
that
千万不要
it
错过
actually
哦
is。not shitty
在此基础
like
上
with，
精彩
Yostar.
仍在延续。这一次，我们还将周末地的周边带到了世界各地。明日
Finally.
方舟周末地主题周边快闪店将于1月24日至2月8日在美国、法国、日本、韩国同步开启活动。更多详细信息，大家可以关注官方社媒查看
Thank
最新
you.
情报哦。
So we don't have to
没有
worry
办
about
法
a
参加
shitty
现场活动的
middleman
玩
that's
家也不用
Yostar.
担心
Because Yostar
周末
does
地
a
的
shit
周边
job.
商品也会陆续
I'm
上架
sorry.
Greenfly
They do.
官方周边线上商店。
大家可以关注网店账号，前往商城线上选购哦。哎，到这个时候，我得替咱们的观众朋友们多问一句了。
At some
你说
points
咱
are
们周末地
good,
的直
but
播会不会再有一
generally
轮转
nothing
盘
like
环节？
那必须的呀！你
哦
看台下那2个转盘是不是等了半天了？赶紧上来吧，是吧？再走一趟。
对呀、对呀、我刚才就已经看见工作人员在里面偷摸摸的准备了，正好现在可以端上来了。
哦，原来已经早有准备了，不愧是你。好，辛苦老师来了。哦，看看熟悉的感觉，
熟悉的感觉啊，
又来了。
又来了，又来了。
那么我们就不卖这个关子了，我们还是要请2位老师来转动我们命运的转盘的，大家一块来看看我们这次有什么奖励，好吧？
好，我先整一个热身。啊，武器检查单元，也是有用的吧？总归来说。
啊，阮老师什么情况？怎么变成武器呀？那么这个
没事，还有这位呢。
啊，要请我们的海毛老师了。好，我们先放在这里吧，太累了是吧？好，
我来。
海毛老师，见证奇迹还会再有吗？要来了吗？难道说
不要停下来呀！
奇迹太厉害了，太厉害了，居然有奇迹！天哪！
哦，没事儿，既然奇迹发生了，那我这边感觉上面这些东西好像似乎有一点不够尽兴啊！
啊，难道说您的意思是？
我也来追加一个小奇迹吧。程序的痕迹加1。
你什么时候带了2副过去？
我为了防止我们的奥之力太耀眼了啊，太厉害了！我们的 Running 老师给我们增加了一份福利啊，存续的痕迹高级培养材料。
既然 Ra 都演都不演了，那我想必也要告诉大家我的真实身份。其实我不是海猫肉和我是塔位2金玉王，
还有高手，
然后为各位管理员献上另外1000千金玉的祝福，没想到还有管理员的开疆扩土，献上一臂之力。
天哪，那2位的手太快了，我都没有反应过来啊！哎，不过既然是为了给咱们的管理员们发福利送祝福，那我的态度只有一个，非常的欢迎啊！那么感谢各位老师啊，也恭喜我们的管理员们。让我来帮大家确认一下，第2轮的抽奖最终结果是1005个千金玉、6000张折机票、30张出征作战记录、30个武器检查单元、5个协议轮柱、5个协议圆盘以及一个存续的痕迹。再次恭喜各位管理员们，还是要记得提醒大家，记得兑换码领取哟。我说真的，除了这种抽奖啊，看运气的好事儿，我们公测版本是不是也多多少少都给咱们的管理员多准备点实实在在的福利呢？
We actually want our Enmins to start their journey comfortably. So in addition to what we said, where players can get 4 New Horizon headhunting 10 times permits by progressing through the main mission, the New Horizons headhunting also gives at least 1 6-star operator, and a New Horizons weapon supply where players can receive a 6-star weapon from a special list. We also prepared beginner sign-in bonuses. Sign in every day to get up to 12 chartered headhunting permits, as well as 6-star operator Ardelia and 6-star weapon Dreams of the Starry Beach. Additionally, there will be a permanent giveaway event. As you gain authority levels, this event gives you another 40 basic headhunting permits, 4,000 ore barrels, and the curated weapon supply that lets you get a 6-star weapon of choice from a specific list. Don't forget what we just mentioned. All the pre-registration milestone rewards are unlocked, and they include 20 basic headhunting permits. Once the official release launches, the chartered headhunting banner will also have headhunting sign-in events for their banners. Every headhunting sign-in gives 5 headhunting permits for that banner.
Okay.
The release celebration will give a total of 15 headhunting permits this way. This adds up to 135 pulls in addition to 6-star operator Ardelia, the 6-star weapon Dreams of the Starry Beach, plus 2 6-star weapon selection crates. Our Enmins will be really getting a mighty boost for their journey. And that's just the release celebration bonuses. The game itself will have plenty of other rewards and freebies to claim. We've briefly mentioned some of them earlier on. For example, storage crates you discovered during exploration now give more ore barrels. The protocol pass is a lot more generous too. We also expanded the means of getting more arsenal tickets. Besides the existing sources, arsenal tickets can also be acquired via weekly routine or exchanged with ore geometries. Acquisition of limited time banner resources is also optimized. The weekly routine we mentioned lets you get some ore barrels and arsenal tickets. At the quota exchange, Enmins had to spend bond quota to get 5 chartered headhunting permits. They can now be acquired by spending AIC quota now, making them easier to get. This item is also refreshed with the start of every chartered headhunting banner. Our Enmins who keep playing will naturally acquire these resources over time, a stable source to keep our Enmins assured. And since we don't want our Enmins to miss anything, we made a special page in the game to highlight these free bonuses. Visit the page anytime. No one's going to feel lost again. We hope these changes will make every Enmin's journey on Talos 2, whether it be filled with exploration, combat, or construction, a more comfortable experience.
说到这儿啊，也差不多到了该说再见的时候了。今天真的非常感谢各位管理员抽出宝贵的时间来看这场前瞻节目。从最初的构想到即将正式与大家见面，这条路并不算短，也谈不上轻松。很多选择，很多取舍，都是在反复推敲中完成的。而能走到现在，离不开各位的耐心与等待。
也正是因为有管理员，一点点把幻想落到现实里的这个过程，才有了意义。
作为一路关注过来的人呢，我特别能理解这份重量。每一个决定背后，都是希望把最好的体验带给大家。
周末地呢，还在继续成长。
To everyone. There shouldn't be a to everyone. I think that's the wrong wording, especially with all the drama for specific things. It's okay at this point. It should be obvious they're trying to go for the common player base. I don't think this is the best idea, really. Like, sure, you might be able to make a lot of money, but what does that do to your reputation and to your other game series. And what are you gonna do after that?
测并不意味着一切已经完成，而是意味着我们终于可以把这个世界交到管理员手中，在你们的探索、反馈与陪伴中，让它变得更加完整。
我们会继续努力，把更多故事、更多回忆、更多值得停下脚步的瞬间带给大家。
管理员周末地已经准备好了，
我们卡维尔再见，拜拜，
拜拜。
You're trapped by a meaningless duty that was never yours. A path already proven to end in utter defeat.
We crossed the vast cosmos and arrived at this foreign home. However, all our dreams and plans fell into ruin with that same gate. Someone very important commissioned us with the Zeroth Directive. Your awakening, as well as the mission and plan I mentioned, are a part of it.
Okay, it's probably another PV thing. I'm gonna stop. Now, you already kind of briefly, like, spoiled of what characters are coming up. I am gonna, as I always say here, just gonna do this because of copyright. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm copyrighted from something else. Which kind of happened with the other, live stream, actually. Overall, as I've always said when it comes to this game, I have to play it to give my proper thoughts. And the longer that takes, the more people are going to hate my thoughts. I mean, granted, they probably still hate my thoughts probably after the fact, because they want to have all sunshine and cheer. So, you know. To me, I don't think they've really improved too much. It just seems like they're just giving a lot of freebies and then hoping that's, like, enough. So, we have to see. I'm just reading the text and what's going on. And it's like, okay, something else is coming. What's going on with the doctor? Interesting that they're having laevatain the way that she is. As, like, the only really character that was there originally. There's gonna be more characters in laevatain, by the way. Like, I could easily see Rizadel coming. Just like a no-brainer. First anniversary, Rizadel.
I only performed the despicable theft of lives from those.
Is he a sweet sibling? Okay, I think he's gonna be playable. Just from, like, his design and what from the brief, like, the showcase, I believe he's gonna be playable. I didn't stop. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. Overall, I'm back and forth still. I can't really say much until I actually get to fucking play it. Huh. But there's also a lot enough changes from the last one that it's still up in the air, really, on how the gacha game will come out. Personally, I don't know. At this point, I'm just burnt out with thinking back and forth of how this game's going to be. Again, until I actually get to play it and then give my brutal, honest thoughts on what I think, given the amount of years I've been playing gacha games from what I've played, especially comparing to Arknights. I don't know what to really say. They're going really hard on, like, freebies, but there's a lot of issues with that as well. It's like, oh, is these freebies going to be for after the fact, or is it just going to be for a couple of months in the game? If that's the case, fuck anyone else who decides to play later. Destroys the purpose, really. But we'll see. I mean, they did a Cliffheart for free, and she was a 5-star at the start of the game that was still kind of available months later. So it's hard to really say if that's going to be the case or not. Past experiences say no. We'll see. Because, I mean, granted, they could change. I don't know. We'll just have to see. The fact that they did a lot of the whole, like, forgetting memories thing again, I don't know the reasoning for it. We may never know, or we know years from now. Because we now know, from at least the main Arknights, why, and that was mostly due to Thursa. So, we'll see what might be the case. Like, we don't know when he goes, quote-unquote, back to sleep to get into the scenario of Enfield. But they were also talking about it that he was waking up periodically at different points in time. Especially 10 years ago. So, yeah. That's where things get a little tricky and interesting to see where they go from here. When it comes to story. I've already talked about clones enough as is. I think if you're going to do something similar, it has to be a relative or make sense for them to still be alive. I don't think that's going, I don't know. I want to say that's not the case, but again, I haven't played or know the story, so I can't really say. They probably skirt around the actual what they were going for. And then I think it would just be worse that way. Personally. I think it would actually make it worse if they just skirt around. So, we will see. That probably would be the biggest issue story-wise, is trying to bring back characters just for the fact of fan service. And there's a thing as too much fan service. Not what you usually see of swimsuits. I'm talking about doing the same character 50 plus times to the point of not even doing other characters because of money. It really gets boring after a certain point that you just stop caring. You just do. I've been through it. I have been through that type of gacha before. Is that going to be the case for this game? Probably not. But who knows? If they keep releasing characters that are not relatives, that are not the same character, but they look like the same character, I'm going to continue modding. Because it's very stupid. It gets boring after a certain point. So, I'm here hoping that they actually make sense than just, lol, here is character that looks similar, oh my god, type of situation. That is honestly kind of been, I think, my biggest issue, aside from the last live stream of the new issues that arose. That's always kind of been my biggest issue with Enfield. is them trying to do copy characters. It's not a new thing. I mean, just look at Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Fates. A good example of that, where some of them are done right, some of them are just so plainly obvious that it's just a boring-ass character. So, I could go on and on about that. I've been not really as vocal about it because it wasn't really much of an issue in Arknights. Really, being brutally honest. But it's something I did talk about in 2020 when I was kind of first playing the game. That can be an issue for a gacha game. I've experienced it before, and that was my hope that Arknights wouldn't do that. They didn't really do that. I mean, there's alters, but not to the extent, aside from Abyssal Hunters. They went way too hard. You could make the argument of the Sweet Siblings too, which is a fair enough argument. You could say that now for Sweet Siblings because of IS6. Some people will probably get burnt out with the Sweet Siblings because of it. So it's kind of interesting to see that we don't have a CN live stream yet. So there's that. Honestly, aside from that, I mean, you already know the whole Gacha scene from the last live stream. Last live stream over Enfield kind of gets the general gist of my issues with some of the Enfield stuff. Like a lot of the other issues, I wasn't really too much of an issue that people had. It's much more the gacha system, because we don't know how the gacha system is. We still kind of know because they're changing things still. And the banner system, like the weapon system. Having a weapon system is not a good thing. It will never be a good thing because they're just adding another gacha system to the game. That's just gonna eventually feed into more money. It's not as bad as other gacha games, yes. I'm looking at Epic 7 here as a good example of what not to do. But, Limited, still stupid. It's a still stupid system. It will eventually be bad as time goes on. It will happen. And there's a simple fix to all of these gacha systems. Allow the person to select the 6 star they want in the pool of characters on the side. Completely changes everything. Completely solves the issue. Anyway. What else? Oh yeah, the time limit hard content. That was the newest thing that I'm obviously not a big fan of. That's taking cues from Hoyoverse, but not realizing why people hate them, or realizing that people don't like the system. It really does not help with the power creep of the game. Is not a good sign long term. Just look at Honkai Star Rail. You would then understand why a system like that is not a good thing. The fact that they even decided to do that, it goes to show that they still have annoyances in designing. So this is not new for Arknights, though. For those that are wondering, yes, there is timed specific content in Arknights. Some of it's more laid back, like reclamation algorithm, and then there's more that are hardcore, like, hey, this boss you have to kill in a certain amount of time, or instant die, fuck you! I hate that. I despise that. I think the better way to go about it is like, Mesfieto, a mutated form of him slightly moving as time goes on, but kind of staying still. That's way better designed than a big fat-ass boss that sits there and you just try to kill it as quickly as you can. Yes, I'm roasting Arknights. But I'm not a big fan of that. Like, the fact that, oh, you die after a certain amount of time! Ho 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 ho! It's stupid game design. It's stupid game design. It forces, as a gacha, or whatever game mode or whatever, to be a DPS race more than anything else. It's just how it is. And then you lose the creativity of it being a strategy game. And I think them focusing on a time-gated hard content in Enfield is not a good thing. I think that is the newest bad thing that they talked about or are going to be introducing. So at this point, you have the time-gated hard content. Not time-gated in the fact of playing it, but time-gated in terms of how long you have until you beat the boss, and if you don't, you fucking lose. Shit ass, have fun, raging, fuck you can leave the game now type of mentality. That'll probably end up happening for a lot of players. Then you have the banner system. The gacha being limited. There's ways to go around and fix it for the limited. Weapon system is not as bad as the other issues, but I'm still not a big fan that even exists to begin with. And then clones of characters. There are options in the game that are pretty good, and then there are options in the game that are pretty bad. And I hope that they continue to actually make logical, reasonable characters that are in relation to the character, or, you know, make sense to be the way they are, like the same person, like laevatain being surtr. Anyway, I think that labels down my issues with this game at this point in time, just from everything shown off and what's going to be in the base game. Now, that could increase with actually playing the game. But I have yet to play the game at once at all, or seen much at all, so I really just, I can't say shit about anything until I actually get to play the game. So, I'm probably going to piss off maybe more people. We'll see. Anyway, I think that's about it for the live stream reaction. I don't have much else to say. My thoughts on things. Graphically, I mean, it's not bad. But to me, I'm not the one that's like, oh, goo goo gaga graphics, oh! I've never been that way. I think that it's fact that there's a meta system that, oh, graphics are everything, but graphics are not everything. And there's this whole debate upon graphics, and I'm like, really, gameplay is first. That's always been the case. And then story. And then lastly, visuals, which ends up being graphics. That's just how it is, and that's how it'll always be. So when people say graphics aren't everything, that's why they say it. And people just don't understand when they try to debut it. Anyway. Okay. Enough of me ranting, enough of me talking. Good night, summons, good night, chanting. Be safe and be healthy, and Zekam11 will see you in the next video, which will probably be related to the event stages and maybe headhunting for the current event currently going on in EN. And until then, peace.